We'll be talking about our project on Kyoto University today. We hope you enjoy the video. Our presentation starts from a quick review on the marketing research process. After that, we follow the 4 steps of marketing research one by one: defining the problems, developing the research plan, collecting and analyzing data, and reporting the findings and making suggestions to solve the problem defined in the first step. So let us quickly go through the marketing research process we took. It starts from defining the problems that Kyoto University is facing under this COVID-19 situation. Next, in the second step, we develop the research plan on how we can collect information related to the problem defined. Third step talks about implementing that research plan, how we collect data and conduct analysis on the data collected. As a final step, we will share the findings from what we have analyzed and make some suggestions to solve the problem. Step 1. Defining problems, the very first step of the marketing research. First thing we did was to think who the possible stakeholders are. Again, it is a university. If you see inside the organization, the main stakeholders would be students, professors, and administrative office staff. If you see outside of the organization, the stakeholders are future students, parents of the current students, alumni, firms supporting the school, or neighborhood community. Then, with the possible stakeholders in mind, which were discussed in the previous slide, we went online to find articles and other information to find out how the COVID-19 situation had been affecting them. As you can imagine, most of the articles were talking about the challenges that students and professors were having under non-face-to-face settings, especially lectures and research. New York Times issued on April 23rd was showing some voices from college students. Some of them were saying that they were having shorter attention span and cannot focus as much as they used to. Or other students mentioned that it was hard to get feedbacks from professors on their work under online class settings. We also found out that the students were greatly anxious about their career. A survey was conducted by a non-profit education research organization in the UK to more than 1,200 students in their final year at the university. The results show that more than 1/4 of them already lost work placement or internship opportunity, and nearly 30% of them actually lost their job or their job offer was deferred or cancelled. In another question asking what was their biggest concerns for career prospects, almost 80% of the students mentioned fewer full-time job vacancy, and 70% of them talked about fewer opportunities for work placement or internship. So, with the collected information, we agreed to focus on students as stakeholders, and the challenges that they're having can be categorized into 4 topics. 1. Academic, meaning study and research. 2. Extracurricular, such as joining clubs and committees or other community activities. 3. Career development. And 4. Overall communication. And this was because of the cancellation of face-to-face lectures and not being able to spend student life on campus. We defined the problem. Then we need to think what kind of brand image Kyoto University wants to create or maintain among the students. Here, we would like to touch upon internal marketing. What is internal marketing? It is marketing which targets internal people in the firms or organizations to share the value and create loyalty. By satisfying the people inside, the firms and organizations believe those people can satisfy their customers more, which will create customer values. It is same for the Kyoto University. Given the great uncertainty in this COVID-19 situation, the school needs to create positive brand image among the students. If the school can satisfy the students in these difficult times and give them great impressions, it will eventually lead to create the same positive impression among the people outside. Now, the problem has been defined, and the goal is set for this research project. We will try to make suggestions to Kyoto University so that the students can feel the school is supporting them in the best way.
So now, after we defined problems and set up the expected brand image, we move further into next stage, the developing of a research plan. By referring to the principles of marketing, we can conclude so-called research plan as something outlines sources of existing data and spells out the specific research approaches, contact method, sampling plans, and instruments that researchers will use to gather new data. And before we started to make our research plan, we decided to reach for both primary data and secondary data. That said, we would research for existing data available from various sources and collect first-hand data by ourselves. We chose surveying as our research approach for collecting primary data. We decided to survey our schoolmates about their feelings on their learning experiences, communicating experiences, and extracurricular life during online settings, and ask about their suggestions on those items. The potential downside of adopting this method is that our result could be biased as we are not sampling from all Kyoto University students, but directly coming to the students who are close to us. But due to the time constraints and our limited resources, that is the only best way to conduct this market research for us. As for the contact method, we directly contact current Kyoto University students we know and invite them through online chatting applications like Line, Skype, and WeChat. And we used questionnaire as our instruments to conduct this market research, and we distributed our questionnaire through Google Documents and 问卷星, which is used to distribute our Chinese version of questionnaire, considering Google Documents are not accessible for people who live in mainland China. So after deciding on our research plan, we started implementing our market research. We distribute our questionnaire, collect primary and secondary data, and analyze them. So firstly, we found out the results of a survey conducted by a co-op for university students. And here the co-op is an organization aims to improve standards of living, which is formed by students and faculty members of universities. And from April to May, the co-op carried out this questionnaire and obtained the answers from more than 2,200 graduate students all over Japan. It aims to evaluate and grasp the situation of students so as to improve their living standards in this COVID time. And they published the questionnaire survey results so that we can deepen the understanding of college students and graduate students in this COVID time. And by the way, Kyoto University also did a survey on this issue. We contacted related parties, but sadly, the results of that questionnaire cannot be shared yet. By looking into the survey, we found several points that attracted our attention. There are more than half of the students interviewed are living alone or planning to live alone. It's a common sense that your mental status is way worse when you are living alone, especially during the time that you're not advised to visit public places. So students may find it hard to start any face-to-face communication, which is vital for daily social activities to keep you healthy. And furthermore, the results show that students find it extremely hard to make new friends. More than half of the students interviewed haven't made any new friends since this pandemic, which is a dangerous signal. It is extremely hard for us to find someone who knows about what's going on around us and exchange our feelings. And this potential negative consequence has been shown in the following answers. When students were asked about their physical condition, the two most frequent answers are, I'm lack of motivation and I'm feeling stressed. The negative impact of being not able to go to school has severely damaged students' motivation. Apart from the students' current condition, the impact of the pandemic also appeared in students' career issue. Here, according to the survey, near 3/4 of the students are feeling anxious about their future career plan, among which the most concerned topic is whether they can find a job. The epidemic has changed the way how students study, communicate, and how they plan their future. Besides the survey we studied, to deepen our understanding of the challenges and response by universities, on July the 3rd, all three members of our team attended online seminar held by Yonsei University, where professors and faculties from Kyodai, Cornell, Michigan, and several other universities shared their insights of online education. In the seminar, Toru Yoshi-sensei from Kyoto University shared his worries. In the topic of online teaching system, he said, a striking fact is that there are only 20% or so entire courses of Kyoto University are using LMS, Learning Management System, and that is probably the downside of one of the oldest universities in Japan. On students' extracurricular life, he said, students can have 5 Zoom classes a day, and when the class is over, professors just cut them off, and that's it. They don't have any social life. And faculty members just focuses on their own courses, try to make their courses seem successful. But then it ends up with instructors giving too much assignment and homework. Again, there's no interesting activities outside of courses.
We also conducted interview to academic staffs and professors to have their perspectives in this situation. From lecturer perspective, they mentioned that there are many technical difficulties and interactions with the students are currently very limited in these online settings. But they also believe that Panda and Coolassist can actually solve this problem. However, there is a problem where lecturers are having different proficiency to utilize Panda and Coolassist to all of its features. They also realize that interactions with their students are happening mostly in the class, while actually, casual academic interactions outside the class could enhance learning experience in Kyoto University.
I conducted an interview to one of the administrative office staffs at GSM. This person raised two major challenges on academic and communication that students might be having. As the professor pointed out in the previous slide, this administrative staff also mentioned the learning platforms. Because the school had to move online all of a sudden, they were seeing the existing digital literacy among professors becoming even bigger. It greatly depends on each professor how well they can utilize classes and Panda, and that this is surely affecting the students. GSM is helping professors on request basis when they get inquiries from them on classes and Panda. Another thing was communication. At usual times, there are many students visiting the office at GSM. Especially for international students, the office has been the place to exchange information, and staff could check in how the students were doing. From the interviews to a professor and an administrative staff, we confirmed that they are seeing challenges among students too. In the next few slides, we will be sharing about the questionnaire we conducted to get feedbacks directly from the students.
We would like to compare whether the conditions mentioned in the secondary data, which we gathered from Japan Student Co-op survey, are also reflected in Kyoto University. On the other hand, we would like to also check whether the brand image of helpful Kyoto University in COVID-19 situation has been reflected internally within its students and academic staffs. Therefore, we designed a questionnaire to obtain primary data from our students and academic staffs in Kyoto University, whether through interview or questionnaire filling. Questions in the questionnaire involve scale of rating from 1 to 5 about several statements in previously mentioned 4 aspects. We aim to gather as much data as possible in this project. Therefore, we designed the questionnaire in various formats. It consists of 3 different languages: Japanese, English, and also Chinese. The reason is to capture both respondents of domestic and international stakeholders in Kyoto University. We utilize peer-to-peer connection to distribute the questionnaire to students. As for the interview on academic staffs, we contact them directly and plan for a schedule. So far, we are able to gather 87 questionnaire respondents and conduct 2 deep interviews with academic staffs of Kyoto University for this project. We are now going to look at the questionnaire results and interpret the meaning behind it. 42.99% students in Kyoto University disagree that Kyoto University has provided sufficient support for them to study in this COVID-19 situation. We look deeper into what capabilities that they are having difficulties at, and we found that there are 5 elements in this situation. The first one is research, the second one is group work, third one is do assignments, fourth one is out of class learning, and the last one is class discussions. As can be seen from the chart here, students need to be empowered more on doing group work, class discussions, and conduct meaningful research. The next aspect that we are going to see is whether Kyoto University have provided sufficient support for students to conduct extracurricular activity during this COVID-19 situation. 55.52% students thinks that Kyoto University has provided enough support to enable students to conduct extracurricular activity. They do realize they might have limited interactions considering these situations. However, if given the chance, there are several activities that they would like to participate. Majority would like to participate in language learning and internship or part-time job activities. Ironically, on the other hand, many students are also don't know what activities are available in Kyoto University. The third aspect that we are going to see is interaction. 65.52% students think that Kyoto University has not provided sufficient support for them to interact during this COVID-19 situation. We look deeper into 3 different categories within interaction aspect. The first one is whether they are able to make new friends. The second one is whether they are able to conduct vertical interactions with their professors or supervisors. And the third one, whether they are able to conduct peer-to-peer interaction with their existing friends or classmates. As can be seen from the graph, they think that they have poor capabilities to conduct interactions. It doesn't matter what the channels they are using, email, Zoom, or even social messenger. On the other hand, the quality of interaction is not as expected. Usually, the interactions only happen for academic contexts. The last aspect that we are going to observe is career opportunities. We are going to see whether students are able to find job opportunities, whether it's full-time, part-time, or it's even internship. 52.87% students think that Kyoto University has not provided sufficient support in order to connect them with the job market. Only around 8% of the students are able to find job opportunities. The remaining, however, they understand that there are several industries that might not be heavily impacted in this COVID-19 situation, and they expect that Kyoto University could be able to connect them with these industries. They also believe that events like Digital Career Event and Career Expo could still be conducted in order to match talents with seeking companies. From questionnaires and interviews that we have conducted, we understand that the students in Kyoto University are in need of help in many aspects. Our suggestion will come in the form of conducting digital activities, as it is the only method available to connect all students and stakeholders in Kyoto University. The following part will elaborate which problems
the suggestions are trying to address. Our first suggestion will be to conduct Kyoto University Digital Hackathon Day. It will help to ease the problem in academic and interaction. Kyoto University could conduct an idea competition digitally through online platform, which will invite students and researchers within the campus. Together, they will meet online and come up together to discuss what are the potential solutions to solve the academic challenges that everybody is facing under this COVID-19 situation. By doing so, aside for thinking about solutions, students and many stakeholders will be able to interact one with another. Hopefully, by the end of the day, they will be able to provide recommendations for the university. The second suggestion will come as an improvement of existing product. Currently, Kyoto University has a Kizuna Lounge, a lounge for students to gather around and conduct extracurricular activities. Usually, students get together to learn languages and share cultural experience in this lounge. However, due to COVID-19 situation, face-to-face interaction has been limited and the lounge has become inactive. But we believe that we can solve this by enabling the launch digitally through online platform like Zoom. Students will be able to dial in into scheduled sessions so that they could interact one another digitally, as the activity revolves around discussion and experience sharing from one student to another. The third recommendation will be Kyoto University Digital Career Day. It is meant to address the problem for students to pursue career opportunities. We have compiled various industries that are least affected by this COVID-19 situation. Some examples include consulting, IT, property, finance, and also fast-moving consumer goods. We believe that this industry will still be able to absorb talents who would like to conduct part-time, internship, or full-time job. Kyoto University could conduct online career matching session in a scheduled manner. Companies and students could then be able to do interview session through digital platforms such as Zoom in this concentrated event. Our last suggestion will address the proficiency issue for academic staff and professors in Kyoto University when they would like to utilize Panda and classes to its fullest potential. It will come in the form of official training modules of all Panda and classes features. This online session could be launched by the end of the semesters when most administrative tasks have been finished. By doing so, academic staffs and professors could have more time to understand these tools better. Hopefully, when these tools are used to its fullest potential, learning experience will be enhanced and meaningful interactions are delivered between stakeholders in Kyoto University. We really hope from the market research that we have conducted and all the suggestions that we have provided, together, we are all able to highlight unexposed issues and leverage our learning experience, activities, and seek better career opportunities in Kyoto University during this difficult situation. Thank you for listening to our presentation.